Good evening and welcome to
Go on then, no, carry on.
Once Upon a Bookshelf. Podcast number 2.
Welcome to episode 2. You could do it like in an elevator voice. Episode 2.
You've got very good elevator voice.
Once. Do I?
Episode.
No.
That was poor.
Episode 2.
Oh god, it's started already. We've gone 5 seconds. Yeah, episode 2.
Welcome to episode 2 of Once Upon a Bookshelf.
Yeah.
Today we are diving in to our what got us into romantisy, the series that started it all.
Yeah.
We are delving into our thoughts, theories, and everything in between.
Yeah.
For ACOTAR.
ACOTAR.
So for those of you who have not read ACOTAR, come back to this later.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, we don't know if we might not do a spoiler. I'm sure we'll do
And if
spoiler.
people don't know what ACOTAR stands for,
Yeah, which I didn't for a very long time, but I'm just like, what?
it's the A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah, which is the first book.
Well, we'll talk about the series.
But we'll talk about the series, but ACOTAR, yeah. And then it's like Akamath, isn't it?
Yeah, Akamath. And then Aka War. And then Aka Saf. Aka Saf. And then Aka
Just call it ACOTAR for sure.
So just call it ACOTAR. By Sarah J. Maas. Or
Yeah.
Maas. However you want to say it.
Say it.
Maas? Ma.
How does she say it?
Maas.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
It's not something we'll be delving into.
We could just do a whole hour on how do you
How
pronounce
would you pronounce it?
Sarah J. Ma. I've always said Ma for some reason, but there is an S there.
Yeah.
I think it's the double the A that throws you
Yeah, I think so.
instead of the double S.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Doesn't matter what her name is, we like her.
we do. She's a good egg. Although we've got beef with her at the moment.
Massive beef.
We just need Sarah, if you're watching.
I am. No.
Not you. You're
Well,
not
Sarah.
watching. You're partaking.
I'll watch it later.
We need an update.
When is number 6?
When is ACOTAR 6 coming out? What are you working on?
Yeah.
What's coming out? What have we got to look forward to in the pipeline?
Yeah, just tell us.
Just give us some goss.
Just so we can ready ourselves, I think.
Yeah, we need to mentally
Prepare. Do some rereads.
Yeah, I cannot wait to reread the series.
I've read it once.
So, I've read the first book twice.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough. But I feel like, I'd like to reread them, but I need an excuse to reread them because I've got so many other books to read.
This is the problem.
So it's like, give us an idea.
I just bought 4 more books today.
Oh, what my
I have
God.
a serious issue. They're worth it. It's all part of the plan.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I agree. It gives you a good excuse to do a reread
Yes.
when
absolutely.
something's coming out.
Jess needs an excuse for a reread because her TBR is massive.
My TBR's massive, but the problem is I do really want to reread everything as well.
I like that. Like, I read a book and I'm like, I really want to reread that, but then I'm like, no, I need to read the next book.
Yeah, that's my problem because we had about a year gap between when I read like Throne of Glass to when you read Throne of Glass. When you were reading it, like characters that aren't like significant I'd forgotten about.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about like Dorian's cousin, I was like, who?
Yeah, I can't even remember his name.
Yeah, this is what I mean. You were talking about him, you're like, this guy, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
But so I really wanted to reread them then, but then I was like, I think I was like halfway through the Zodiac Academy stuff, and I was like, I need to read all of that first.
Yeah, you do.
So Good. And then I've just got too many books.
Yeah, you need to control yourself.
To be fair, it wasn't me who bought them.
Is it Mother's Day present?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I can't complain.
An early Mother's Day present.
Yeah.
Nice.
But the only problem is, so I don't have a lot of bookshelf room.
I have even less.
And my bookshelf's really rather full. And I've got a Kindle.
You've got a Kindle, Jess.
I do, but he didn't buy me them on Kindle. He bought paperback. So I've now got to shuffle.
He should have brought you an Amazon voucher.
That's where it would have been at.
Anyway, but it's very kind of him.
It's very kind, very sweet. Oh, do you know what else he bought?
What?
Another book. So 5 books. The new Hunger Games book.
Oh.
Yeah. About Haymitch.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That only came out a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I got that in the airport on my way to Pisa for the weekend.
Did you read it?
No, it's huge. It's like massive. And I was already halfway through Caraval.
So why did you get a book in the airport then if you're already halfway through a book?
Because I wanted it.
On the way as well.
Yeah.
So you had to keep that in your baggage on the way home, knowing full well you're not going to read it.
Well, Sam kept it in his baggage.
Oh, right, that's fine then.
So I didn't have to carry it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I thought so.
You know we're going out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know we're like up with my box.
This is the problem, right? We have a serious issue. I literally said, right, kid you not, every time we go to Leeds,
Yeah.
we go to Waterstones, I buy a book.
Yeah.
At least one book.
At least one.
Last time we went, how many? You got like 4.
Yeah.
And I got the one
Yeah.
because you owed me for lunch.
Yeah.
And then last time I went, I got 3 books.
Yeah.
And then I just bought... No, because I had Caraval, so I've just bought
The other 2.
Legendary and Finale,
Yeah.
which I'm on the last one.
Oh, God. You've read so much this month and I've read nothing.
Yeah, I actually have read 6 books this
You've been
month.
poorly, though.
Yeah, I've had a lot of spare time
Yeah.
to do it. And then, yeah, I've bought some more. So actually, it's too much.
It's not too much, though, is it? They will get read as
It'll
well.
never be
the
enough.
thing is, like, they will get read at some point.
Yeah.
They're not just going to sit there collecting dust forever.
No. I mean, they might sit there collecting dust for a while.
Yeah, but you'll get there.
But the problem is, what I've done is a bit like you like buy like the first book of a few series.
Yeah, and then you have to get the next because that one's so good.
And
then
that's
you're,
what
like,
I did.
piling up. Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm currently reading the Caraval series.
Yeah.
I've had Caraval for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I read that. You told me to read that.
Yeah, I totally get these people as well, though, where they go into a bookshop
And they buy
the whole series.
Yeah.
I
Before you've
totally get
even
that.
read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit like... So I was in Asda the other week and obviously borrowed Serpent and the Wings of Night from you. And I was like, well, I finished that.
Yeah.
But the second book was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I need both of them then.
You need a complete
I can't
set.
not have the second...
Mm-hmm.
The Ashes and the Starcurse King or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I bought them both.
Yeah. Well, you do, right?
And I've already read the first one, but they look right on the bookshelf.
You need them to get... Because if you want to do a reread, then it's right there.
Exactly.
Which you might end up doing.
Yeah.
I did it. I was a bit silly with the Serpent and the Wings of Night. I've got the first book in hardback. I could not find the second book anywhere. So I read it on Kindle.
Yeah.
Because I was just desperate to, like, read it. And then when I went on my last shopping trip to
You've
Leeds...
seen it.
No, I didn't get...
the third one.
I got the third one. But my theory is... They're duologies, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if I just get the first book of the duologies...
Yeah.
Then it doesn't take up as much room on my bookshelf.
Yeah.
I can get them all in hardback.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I've gotten.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
That's my theory.
I'll go with that.
Because Carissa Broadbent brought out her other novella this week as well, the Vampire Slayer or something like that.
I saw that when I was buying the 6 Scorched Roses because I got that on Kindle.
Yeah, I got that on Kindle too.
I saw that actually.
It's very good.
Have you read that as well?
No, I haven't. No, I need to read that one. I haven't read that one. because Mum went off on a tangent and she's gone and read...
She's not read any of the novellas.
No, but she should have. Before she went on to the third book, she should have read Six Scotch Roses.
I've started reading that today. It's good.
It's so good. But we're not talking about that today.
We're not talking about them today.
But that's where we are with our books
this is
at the moment,
where
guys.
we go off on tangents.
We just... Yeah, we need to rein it back. Rein it in.
Yeah, we won't tell you anything that happens in them. We'll discuss them at a later date.
No, we'll just tell you where we're up to. And then we'll rein it back in to what we're actually discussing.
Yeah.
Which is ACOTAR.
ACOTAR.
God, that takes you back, though, doesn't it? Like, it takes me back.
When did I read that? Over a year ago, and you read it over 2.
Yeah, over 2 years ago. Yeah, nearly 2 years ago now.
It was probably about this time last year that I was reading them, maybe. No, maybe
I'd say earlier.
Yeah.
I'd say you read a hell of a lot last year. You read all of the Massiverse.
All of them.
And you
All
read Fourth
Wing.
Wings. Was that it? Did you read Powerless? Or was that the start of this year?
Started Powerless.
Yeah. So you read a lot.
Yeah.
A lot last year.
Yeah.
But ACOTAR's a good one to start with. It's basically... The first book is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling.
Yeah.
And...
It's good.
It is good. It sucks you in quite quickly, I think. It gets on with it quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Even when I was doing the reread, it isn't long before Tamlin comes in his beast form and storms in and gets her.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's a lot of world building, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not till halfway through the book that anything actually happens.
Yeah, and by that point, you're like, is it worth carrying on?
Yeah. So I think this is why ACOTAR's always a good one to start with.
They're not huge books either, are they?
No, well...
They
Court of
maybe
Silver
get bigger.
Flames is quite a big one.
Yeah, that's good. That's allowed to be.
That's like 800 pages, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Mm.
I never see them as that big.
I think ACOWAR and ACOMAF are quite big. They're like that.
Well, ignore me then. They are quite long books.
The first one isn't.
No.
The first one's quite short. And then obviously you've got the novella as well.
Yeah.
Which... It does count.
Yeah.
A lot happens in it.
Yeah.
It's just like a little Christmassy.
It's cute.
It is sweet. It's cute.
It's nice.
I won't rush to read it. It's definitely my least favourite of the whole series.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But which is your favourite of the
not
series?
A lot happens in it though, does it?
No.
My favourite. Now, Jess, you've caught me off guard here.
Oh, have I?
No, I don't know why.
I thought it would have been quite easy.
Probably ACOMAF.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely my favourite.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Really good.
Because do you know what's weird? So you start with ACOTAR, and obviously you fall in love with Tamlin. You do. You do.
I don't know if I did.
Well, you don't fall in love with him, but you like him.
Oh, he was a likeable character, yeah.
Yeah, and you saw... I actually remember you saying you love Tamlin, so don't even start with me.
No,
you
I
did.
don't know, because I said through the book, I don't know about him.
No, you're such a liar.
I genuinely did.
Okay, don't believe you.
I liked him, but as the book progressed, I was like,
Do you know what? I liked him up until Under the Mountain.
Yeah.
And then I was like, something dodgy.
Yeah, well, this is it. I liked it. I don't think I loved him. I don't think I've ever loved him.
I don't think I loved him as in, like, connected with him, wanted to be Feyre while she was with him.
No.
I definitely wanted them to be together while I was reading it, though.
I thought, oh, look at this is nice.
Although Lucian was right there.
No.
Sarah really needs to reread the books, and I would start a petition to get her to reread these books, because you seem to have the wrong impression of Lucian. I don't know why you don't like him.
I don't either.
I
don't not
don't.
like him. I don't think that's... No.
If we could replay that reaction just then.
I'm like, oh, him
Because
again.
you got to think, in the first book, Lucian was this, like, cocky, funny character. A bit like Carrion. At the start, he was.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
And he was getting her into a bit of trouble. But he had her back because he didn't do a very good job. But he warned her not to drink the fairy wine, and she got a bit woohoo. With Tamlin with his little fiddle.
We'd all drink the fairy wine, really. Come on.
But, you know, he helped her and, like, saved her on many occasions.
Sometimes.
No, he did.
Yeah.
The only time he couldn't was when he was under the mountain and he'd been...
No, but why...
lashed.
No, but in that,
he couldn't move.
Why let Tamlin lock her up in the house? No, I get that he was torn because Tamlin did a good deed for him and took him in and, you know, let him live with him and blah, blah, blah. But...
You don't put yourself in other people's shoes. That's what you need to do.
I'm like, bitch.
You're like, you did me wrong.
Yeah.
Get going.
Yeah, basically. No. I'm just Team Feyre, aren't I?
No, I agree, like, he did bad things, but I could never hate Lucian. I have a soft spot for him.
I don't hate him.
You just don't like him.
I just don't like him as much as you, I think. I don't think he's a horrendous character, but I think he could have done more.
No, I agree. I think he could have done more.
Yeah.
I think he was just, with the way him and Tamlin became a thing, because obviously, he was... His home and parentage and brothers were not very nice to him.
No, absolutely
And weren't they
not.
going to kill him or something? And Tamlin killed, like, 2 of his brothers or something along those lines to get him out, and then took him into the spring court so that they couldn't get to him.
Yeah.
So I guess if Lucian did do anything, and we know how quick-tempered Tamlin was.
Yeah, we do.
If he stepped in to do anything more than what he already did...
He probably feared for his life, maybe.
Either feared for his life, or feared that he'd get kicked out of the spring court and have to go home, where he'd probably not be very welcome.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, still not convinced.
But anyway, back to ACOTAR. I still don't understand why she went for Tamlin when he was right there. He was right there.
I mean, it's like, come on, girl.
Yeah. He played a fiddle.
Played a fiddle in an Irish bed.
Just imagine him there with his golden locks and his little fiddle.
No, I can't even picture that. It makes me cringe.
What? Oh. That whole thing with Tamlin was just
cringe.
A bit weird. Yeah. Like, looking back, you went with it, though, didn't you?
Yeah, and you can see why, right? She's starving. She's probably, like, delusional because they're so hungry and they've got no money and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, yeah, take me away from here.
Yeah.
Do anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And maybe she didn't love him like she thought she did. Maybe because of what he did for her, it made her think, oh, this must be love.
100%. It was Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
He'd stolen her away.
Yeah.
Kept her. Mm-hmm. Gave her an art room and was just, like, literally like, all you have to do is stay here. Yeah. He knew the whole time this is also what, like, when... I know he sent Feyre home when everything was kicking off.
He did.
But when she came back and Alice or however you want to pronounce it, I said Alice. Yeah. When she told, this is when I went off Tamlin, when she told Feyre about the curse, and that, like, he had to fall in love, or it was somebody who would absolutely hate him had to fall in love with him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When she told her that, and then Feyre was like, right, I need to go get him. In my mind, I was like, well, you've just been manipulated, girl.
Yeah, massively.
Because he's just using you to break this curse.
Yeah.
Which, obviously, she wanted to help. That's fine.
Yeah, because she's a good person.
But then in the back of my head, I was like, oh, well, does he actually love me for me?
Yeah, exactly. Has he just been stringing me along this whole time?
Yeah.
Making me think feel feelings for him, but he doesn't reciprocate them.
100%. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, you go under the mountain with Feyre. So she goes to rescue him, doesn't she? Because
which I love the whole under the mountain bit.
That is the best bit of the whole
so
book.
Good.
That's where it really...
Yeah.
I mean, the first, like, 2/3 are, like, world building.
Yeah.
Sort of meeting characters, understanding who people are. Obviously, you meet Rhys. Well, do you know what? Actually, speaking of Rhys, when you first read the book, without knowing what you know now, do you remember how you felt about him when you first...
I liked him.
Like, straight away?
Yeah, I remember telling you, I was like, oh, there's something about Rhys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just off these cocky, arrogant guys, but that's what he came across as. And he had to, obviously, have this persona about him because he was, you know, Amantha's bitch or whatever. Whore.
Slag.
Yeah. But I thought, oh.
Yeah. Because the first time you meet him is on Calanmai, isn't it? And she's getting taken away by these horrible Fae who, God knows what they were going to do to her. And there's there you are. I've been looking for you. Oh!
No.
But it's the fact that she said as well, and you know when someone says this, he was the most beautiful man or male she'd ever seen.
Yeah.
You're like, well...
what are you doing with Tamlin still, girl? Run after it.
Literally.
No, I remember saying that to you though. I was like, oh, I like Rhys.
Yeah. I
was like, I don't know how it's going to play out, but I did think, maybe not like him straight away, because I think like's a big thing to get out of one line sentence. But
you're like, fit.
I was like, I'm very intrigued by this person.
You just know with that one interaction, he's going to pop up.
Yeah. And then he did under the mountain.
Well, before.
Well, yeah, before that, he killed the girl that lived next door or whatever, didn't he?
Well, no, because do you not remember he beheaded a fae and put it on their fountain?
Oh.
Outside Springcourt?
Yes, I do.
And then he came just to visit.
Yes, and she was hid behind
the curtain. And she was hiding behind Lucian in the curtain, yeah.
And then he was like, what's your name?
Yeah, and she said Claire Bador.
She gave him the false name, Claire, and he went and didn't she, bless her?
Yeah. She didn't last long.
No, she didn't last long.
She had no main character energy.
No. She was not going to make it. But then, yeah.
Because that interaction... Because the first interaction I thought, ooh... like this guy.
Yeah.
When he went to the Springcourt and he made Tamlin get on his knees, that's when I was like, oh, I don't know if I like him actually, because I don't like belittling people, and I know why he did it looking back and stuff like that. But when he did that, I was like, oh, bully.
When you don't know the background of the story, you think, oh, that's not very nice.
Knowing it, you're like, get on the ground, Tamlin. Yeah.
But like, this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So then you have that, and then you get under the mountain, and you sort of know Rhys is betting on her because Amarantha's the one who said there was only one person that bet that she'd win against the worm, and it was Rhys.
Yeah.
And you think, why is he?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. Why is he betting for her?
It intrigues you.
Yeah.
You become intrigued by him. Like, what is this man doing?
Yeah.
What is his plan?
Yeah. But I didn't like how he'd dress her up every night and make her give him a lap dance.
No.
Like, Rhys,
but
come on.
You also understand why he did it. Because he's got...
He's playing a part.
And he's playing a part, and he's got to uphold it.
Mm-hmm.
And she did it.
I mean, she was drunk.
On fairy wine.
Fairy wine.
But she did it.
She did do it. I'd do it.
Yeah.
Hi, Rhys.
Me, Rhys, any day.
But what pissed me off about Tamlin under the mountain, obviously he didn't acknowledge her at all.
No, he wasn't. He chose not to, didn't he?
Which, fair play. He didn't want to give Amarantha
Yeah.
the benefit.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
The one chance that he had to speak with her, and he decides to lay it on.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Dick move, right? Not spoken to her in yonky donkey.
She's come to save him. She's in this horrible situation.
And he's like, oh, let's just get jiggy in the closet.
He didn't even try to speak to her.
No.
He didn't say anything to her.
No.
They just... Why she went along with that as well? Like, I know she was in love with him, but the last thing I'd do...
she just wanted to get jiggy too.
Maybe that's all she wanted from him.
Yeah. She was maybe just using him for his body. Who knows? This is the thing.
But I did like it when when Rhys caught them.
Yeah.
I was like, yes. Yeah. Get some jealous vibes going on in here. Come on.
Yeah.
And then he kissed her, didn't he? And he was naughty.
Mm-hmm. And the riddle.
Yeah, I never got the riddle.
No, me neither.
I just thought love was too obvious. It was the first thing that went through my head, I've got to be honest. But I just thought it can't be that because that's too obvious.
I genuinely can't remember what went through my head when I read it.
Just kept on reading it going, what?
I was like, no, don't know, move on.
Just all the trials were really good. I really enjoyed
the reading one.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to go for the second one because it's like me and Tamlin, two people. Like, what sort of... Like, why?
Like, oh yeah, she's illiterate, so... And Lucian's life's on the line.
Yeah,
here.
Lucian's literally like shouting at her to be like, come on, hurry up.
Quickly.
Again, Lucian's life was on the line. Lucian gets bullied and we just...
Yeah, I mean, Amarantha obviously noticed the friendship between them, didn't she?
Well, because when she was... This is why you need to reread them, because you need to see how good Lucian is. When she was running away from the Midgard worm, Lucian was the one who said, watch out.
Yeah.
Like, he was the only... Tamlin didn't say shit. Rhys didn't say shit. It was Lucian.
Rhys bet with her, though.
Yeah, but Lucian actually warned her that she was going to get smushed.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Alright. That was kind of him.
Yeah, it was good. It was good of him. We love him. We love Lucian. But yeah, the whole thing, and to be fair, with the last 3 Fae that she had to stab,
yeah,
I didn't think it was going to be Tamlin. I thought it was going to be Lucian. I thought she was going to have to kill Lucian because he'd been bullied and everything throughout the whole thing, and Amarantha clearly saw there was something between them, even if it like was just a friendship. He'd been like obviously nearly squished in the one before. I thought he was going to appear in that one, so I was actually quite shocked when he wasn't.
Yeah, I thought there was a reason that Tamlin was there though, like he didn't have a heart or something. So when she stabbed him, he wouldn't die.
Well, that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't think that.
Oh, I did. I was like, there must be a reason.
I didn't think he would die because Amarantha was clearly besotted by him.
Exactly.
So she wouldn't want him to die.
No. But but obviously then she maybe thought Feyre couldn't stab him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's that, but she did.
Yeah, she did. Well done.
Good girl. Do you know what, though? There's a theory, and I want to know if you agree with it.
All right.
That I've seen on TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of theories about Tamlin and who his mate is, but that Amarantha was his mate, but he rejected the bond. But that's why she's, like, so obsessed with him.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's why she wanted to keep him captive and stuff, because obviously, like, mates are hard to come by, apparently. Yeah. That's because most of the people that are mates to them are human.
Don't I know it?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I can see that.
I thought that was like one of the more interesting theories. But then obviously,
have you seen the theory that Feyre can't actually draw?
Yeah, I love that.
They're brilliant.
That's...
They're little stick men.
And it was like, that's so good.
Yeah, well done.
But then I did see that somebody put if Feyre couldn't draw, do you think Nesta would not tell?
Well, that is very true.
And you're like, nah, she'd definitely say
Nesta
that
would be the
is
first,
shit.
like, oh my god, stop drawing.
Yeah, 100%. But that is funny. I do
Yeah,
really like that theory. That's
so
really good. But then obviously, so I don't know about you, but when obviously she got killed, Rhys was screaming her name. You obviously think something's...
Yeah. Well, they've bonded, haven't they? Because he went down to the dungeon.
He made the deal with her.
Helped her, fixed her every time, you know.
Because he'd sort of half told her at this point that he wanted to be Aramantha.
Yeah,
and he wanted to be free. So you can kind of see why.
Yeah, and I guess, like, everything that Feyre did was to beat her. So Rhys sounds like, oh, actually, she was, like, my only ally in here, and she's just died.
Yeah. Before
knowing that they're mates, obviously.
Well, he knew, though. Yeah.
Well, he knew. He had an inkling until it snapped at the end.
Yeah. So speaking of that snap, though.
Snap.
I knew when that happened.
I was like, oh.
I knew when it said that in the book, because it said, like, he stumbled back and he looked shocked. Because they'd already sort of mentioned mates beforehand.
Yeah.
I like, straight away clicked in my head. I was like, they're mates. But then I couldn't understand why it ended when she went back to the spring court. And I was like, oh. But Tamlin's a really good guy at this point.
Yeah.
Sort of. Although I've kind of gone off him a little bit. I was like, how... Like, happy ending. They've gone back to the spring court. But surely she's mates with this Rhys guy.
Yeah. But she's not to know, is she, really?
She had no
she
clue.
Doesn't know really about mates, or she's obviously never experienced it before. But or lived in a world where it happens, sort of thing, I guess. Yeah. So she's like, well, I love Tamlin.
I like the this whole thing of mates, the whole idea of it. I think it's very cute.
I think it's lovely.
I think it's really nice, and that there's like one person that's like meant for you. I really like that. So, like, as a trope in books,
it stresses me out a little bit, though, right? For the fact that, like, if you were in them shoes, right? If you were a fae, right? And because not everybody gets mates, do they?
No, apparently it's really rare.
Yeah, really rare, but it happens all the time. I'd be like, well, I really love you, but I don't necessarily want to marry you, or in case I meet my mate.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they live for such a long time.
Yeah. Or what happens? Do you marry them until you find your mate, and then like, sorry.
Surely it's a good scapegoat, though. If you do meet your mate.
Yeah.
You could be like, well, I'm really sorry, but they are my mate.
Yeah, I've got to go.
But yeah, it's quite sad, really.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you like...
For the other person that's not met their mate.
Yeah. And they're just like left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like good at heart and heartbreaking at the same time.
I love a like fated mates thing. I do love that.
I do like it. The problem is though, like Rhys at this point is like 500 and odd years old. He's lived 500 and odd years without a mate, and he's clearly not married or anything like that. He might have had past relationships, but we just don't really know about them.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call Amarantha a relationship because it wasn't on his part.
No.
He was with her for 50 years. It's a long time.
Yeah, forcefully with her.
Forcefully.
Yeah.
But, yeah, imagine, like, going all that time and then finally finding your mate, but you're, like, 500 and odd years old.
Yeah,
I'd have given up. Yeah. I'd have given up by 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm done now.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, you'll do.
Yeah. But this is the thing, a lot of them are married, and there's also a theory about Lucian's mum and Helion.
Yeah.
Are they actually mates? Moving on to Akamath. That obviously starts off, you think it's going to be all rainbows and sunshine, you know, they've beat Aramantha, they're free.
They can go live their lives.
Yeah. They're getting married.
Ianthe.
Oh, she is
or whatever.
Something else.
She got a good ending, I'll tell you that.
She was just a horrible piece of work.
Yeah, she was. She was a nasty piece of work.
She was manipulative. She was a sexual assaulter.
Yeah.
She was horrible, just in every way.
That's another thing. She wasn't kind to Lucian, was she?
Yeah. Poor Lucian. You know how we're going back over these books, I think I'm going to convince you to be a Lucian fan.
I'm not a fan. I just don't like him as much as you do.
That's fair.
Yeah, and she starts flitting around, doesn't she?
Well, I don't really know, because she kind of came in as like Tamlin's advisor in a sort of way, didn't she? But I'm sort of like, why? Like, where did you come from? Why weren't you there before? If you're like Tamlin's advisor,
it was a bit random, really.
Yeah,
to be honest,
didn't like her at all.
No.
And then obviously she sort of started taking over everything.
Yeah.
And just
Feyre wasn't allowed to go outside. She was very ill.
She was poorly.
And
she was having nightmares. Yeah. And she clearly had PTSD, which you would do.
100%.
If you were in that situation.
Absolutely.
Tamlin clearly had it as well.
Yeah.
I think
they didn't help each other.
This is the thing. They were not good with each other.
They weren't. You could tell by this point that they weren't compatible.
Yeah.
Because neither wanted anything to do with the other person's PTSD.
No.
Effectively. They didn't want to help each other through it.
No.
She was raging because she was ill and he did nothing about it.
Yeah.
But then he'd be poorly and she'd just lay there pretending that she hadn't heard anything either.
Yeah. They were both as bad as each other. And I think what Feyre didn't understand is why Tamlin got like what it was is like he was super overprotective of her.
Yeah.
He'd seen her die.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying what he did was good. Like, no. I'm not trying to justify it. But I know for a fact if I'd seen Sam die, I'd be like,
you can never leave the house again.
Yeah.
Because I'm worried for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. 100%. I think they needed counselling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they needed couples counselling.
I think the problem was Ianthe was obviously sort of on, like, she was trying to worm her way in with Tamlin, wasn't she? Yeah. So she was whispering stuff to Feyre. Trying to be like on Tamlin's side, being like, oh, Tamlin's doing this for your own good, Tamlin, you know, la la la. And Feyre was sort of going along with it, but her in her own head was going, no.
She's also a young woman.
She's now Faye.
She's now like, Faye.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, what is going on with my life?
Yeah. It was a mess.
Yeah.
It was a complete mess. She wanted to go out and help.
Yeah.
To rebuild. That's what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And Tamlin was too scared to let her go.
Yeah.
So I'm not justifying what he did when he locked her in the house and she had a breakdown. And I'm not justifying Lucian letting it happen.
No. You would think that, like, some part of him could have been like, look, Tamlin, have you spoken to her?
Yeah.
Do you know what's going on in her head?
She did, though. They did have a moment.
Yeah. Not enough of
But he got really angry at one point and destroyed his office.
Yeah, exactly. He got really angry.
Yeah, he had anger issues. He needed therapy.
He hurt her, didn't he?
No. Because I think she managed to put up like a little air shield or something, didn't she?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But he could have done if she hadn't have reacted.
Yeah.
And obviously that's like fully like there's no justification behind that.
They've both got issues.
But it wasn't until the wedding, which was months after Under the Mountain, and bearing in mind Rhys's deal with her was every
a week a month
to go to the night court. He didn't ever go and get her until the wedding day, which was the best entrance again for Rhys. Oh, she was nearly there.
She like, he could sense it though, couldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He could sense that she was in a lot of distress.
Yeah, and how scared she was.
Yeah.
And it was the red roses, because she couldn't see the colour red, could she? Because she just saw blood.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I can't do it, I can't, somebody help me, somebody help me, somebody help me. And then boom, he appeared.
Yeah.
And we love that.
Yes.
And he's like, I'll take her away now.
Yeah, you're not getting married today, guys.
Do you know what, like, really, like, confused me about that whole situation? If you were Tamlin, you'd be like, just wait an hour and then take her.
Yeah. For God's sake.
But he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Which was marvellous.
Yeah. And then, obviously, that's when you first go to the night court.
And he teaches her how to read.
Yeah.
And write.
Yeah.
Really quickly.
I am the most beautiful High Lord. Rhys is the most powerful High Lord.
Yeah, I love that.
Rhys a hard name to learn, like first name. Like, how do you spell that?
Absolutely.
No chuffing way. But yeah. So then you go there, and it's great. And he saves her slowly.
He does. She starts feeling better when she's there, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
She dreads going back to the spring court.
Yeah, and she meets Maw.
Oh, Maw.
Conflicting opinions on Maw. When you first meet Maw,
she's lovely.
You love Maw.
Yeah.
The first, I'd say, so Akamath and Akawar. Akamath and then a little bit of Akawar, you love her.
Yeah.
I'd say about halfway through Akawar, towards the end, something dodgy's going on there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially when you meet Eris.
Yeah, there's just something about that situation that we're not being told the whole truth about.
But I don't understand. So, she's the Morrigan, isn't she?
Yeah.
That's her, and she's like, truth is her power. What does that mean?
Well, it clearly doesn't mean that she has to tell the
Well,
truth, does it?
no.
Yeah.
So what are we missing there? And then, yeah, she's not telling the full truth about Eris at all.
No.
I don't think he's a bad guy.
I like Eris.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it out there.
You like him more than Lucian?
Yeah.
Do you actually?
No, I don't know. Maybe on equal par with Lucian.
What I liked about Eris was when he was dancing with Nesta.
Yeah.
And he said he was like really laying on the compliments to her.
Yeah.
Like he was being a proper charmer.
I just think he is a gentleman, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the reason... So basically she had sex with Cassian, didn't she?
Maw did, yeah.
To get out of marrying Eris.
Yeah.
Because obviously for them to get married she needed to be a virgin.
Yeah.
Untouched lady.
Yeah.
But that obviously she had other ideas and Cassian gave her a helping hand.
Yeah.
And then obviously she got... But was it her dad that had put the... Because they'd like nailed a note onto her
and dropped her
womb.
in the autumn cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it her dad?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But he wouldn't touch her, would he? Eris.
No.
But I think if he'd touched her, then that would have made him claim her.
Yeah.
And he knew that she didn't like that.
Yeah, he did. She didn't want that, which is the whole reason she slept with Cassian.
Yeah.
So he left her.
So he left her. But she's making out that, oh my God, how could you leave her like that? But if he'd have helped, then
she'd have hated him for that as well.
Because then she'd have been sort of trapped there.
Yeah.
Because she would have had to have gone with him, and
yeah,
and he knew that's not what she wanted.
Yeah.
I think that's what's gone on, and I think that's why when Eris says you don't know the full story, that's it.
Absolutely.
But then obviously like Cassian and Rhys and Azriel all believe what Maw says, obviously, and they absolutely hate Eris.
Yeah, too good. It's such good books.
There's so many like loose bits though, isn't there? This is why we need the 6th one. There's so many, like, unanswered questions still. Stuff that really needs to, like, be addressed.
Yeah.
What I found really difficult, because obviously you fall in love with Rhys.
Yeah.
He is, like, number one book boyfriend. 100%. Like, he is up there for me.
Yeah.
And when my heart literally broke when he died.
Oh, yeah, that was devastating.
I had to put the book down, walk away. I think I had like half an hour just to cry.
I think I messaged you and was just like, Jess, what?
Like, can't read this book anymore.
Yeah.
I remember saying to you, when you were on the third book, I was like, you need to message me when you get to the part and you'll know when that part is.
Yeah.
It was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because
you go through all the emotions with Feyre, don't you? Like, you've been this far and, like, you can see, like, obviously they're mates. They're bonded. She's High Lady.
Yeah.
When it gets to
She's
this bit.
She's got all these cool powers.
She's, you know, and then he's just like, and they've been together, what, 5 minutes? In their lifetime, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's just suddenly ripped away. It's like, that is just not fair.
It's the fact that, like, they'd gone through so much to be together.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they had the whole thing in Akamath where he showed her, like, her Valaris.
Yeah.
And she saw what he was like actually with his court, with Cassian, with Azriel, that they're actually a family rather than...
They saw the true Rhys rather than the facade that he puts on elsewhere.
Yeah, and he didn't ever have that facade with her, I don't think. Like, he always let his guard down with her. Even when she was in the Hewn City, you know, like, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
She kept to that one room, because obviously she went out, it would have been disastrous.
Yeah.
But, he was always, like, whenever he came through, he was just that cocky guy. He wasn't trying to be scary. He wasn't trying to be intimidating to her. He was trying to help her, like you say.
Yeah.
And it was because he loved her the whole time. Like, we know that.
Yeah.
And it's not until chapter 54 that you really get the lowdown on all of that. Those 2 chapters are the best chapters in the books.
Yeah.
Chapter 54 and chapter 55.
It's when, like, she wants to stew soup.
Yeah, she was like, eat.
Yeah.
Eat it then.
Here you go then.
Yeah. Because she obviously finds out the Surreal likes to dish out the tea.
Yeah.
So she finds out that way.
And she's raging.
Absolutely. Which...
it's difficult because I get Rhys point of view on that. Like, he didn't want to force anything onto her.
No.
She was in love with Tamlin, she thought.
He was willing to let her get married to somebody else.
Which is true love.
I absolutely love that man.
He's like, look, you've been through a lot. I didn't want to be like, oh, by the way, hi, I'm your mate. Come live with me, marry me.
100%.
I totally get it.
And it was natural how she fell in love with him. Like, she just spent time with him and got to know him. And I guess, like, she was peeved off when she found out about Valaris first time, because she was like, you've literally had this whole sanctuary and there's so many people who've been suffering. And he was like, yeah, but I kept these people safe. Like, I couldn't keep everybody safe.
Yeah.
And she saw that eventually.
Yeah.
And she saw Valaris as her home, and she saw Cassian and Azriel and Amren and Ma all as, like, family.
Yeah.
And they were, like, how quickly they all took her in.
Oh, no, it was lovely.
They were just fantastic.
But they knew that she was Rhys's mate, didn't they?
They didn't, though. Only Amren did.
Yeah.
Until it actually happened. Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, Amren knew straight away when she met Feyre. And then Cassian, Azriel and Ma...
hadn't Rhys come back?
Oh, Rhys had said to Ma. So Ma and Amren knew.
Yeah.
Cassian and Azriel
when he
didn't.
came back from under the mountain...
He said, she's my mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like the first... And that was the first time they'd seen him in 50 years.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing that he says.
Yeah.
Like, she's my mate. Mad. Absolutely mad.
Oh, it was cute. I'd been raging though, right? That that house.
The townhouse? Or the House of Wind?
The chalet where she went.
Oh, God, the cabin.
The cabin. And she painted all over it.
And imagine if she is shit at drawing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just walking like a fucking child has come in.
What have you done? You've destroyed my house. How dare you?
I would have been raging.
I'd have been raging. I'd be
Why
like,
did she do that?
Do you really think it needed redecorating? Because I didn't.
And yeah, but like she did it everywhere, and then she drew like eyes, didn't she? Like their eyes. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no.
At least draw a nice mountain scene or something like.
It clearly was very much in love with her because he let it slide.
Yeah. I'd have walked in and been like, oh, now we need to sort this out.
Yeah, maybe that's what he thought though. He looked at him and was like, oh, we can sort this out.
Yeah.
We can get rid of it.
I don't know why that was a thing. I don't know why Sarah decided to put that in there.
Obviously needed something to do while she was up there alone.
But she could have just got a canvas.
Yeah.
Or like something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Bizarre.
Anyway, they fall in love. She accepts the mating bond.
Do you know what doesn't get talked about enough? And I'm only going to bring it up because I absolutely adore Asriel. When he teaches her how to fly.
Oh, I love that.
That, honestly, to me, is like one of the best moments in the books.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously she can, like, transform, can't she?
She's like, oh, what can I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she asked for somebody's help, didn't she? Mm. And Asriel said, I'll teach her because obviously he had to learn because he couldn't fly until he was like 11 or something. Yeah. Whereas Cassian and Rhys have been flying forever.
Like their whole lives. Yeah.
So he had to teach her.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
And the best bit is like when she flew into like a rock or a tree or something, and she was like, that moved, and he was like, no. You're just really bad at this.
You just need to get a grip.
But I loved that. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah, I like Asriel. I know you very much like Asriel.
I love Asriel.
He's such good for someone like you say who doesn't say much. He's always seems like he's there in the background. He's a big character.
He is a big character, and like when he does say things, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. Yeah. Like, yeah, he hasn't said an awful lot, but when he has, or has had those interactions, they've been so meaningful. Yeah. And I think that's why, because, like, I'm not the only one who absolutely adores Asriel. Oh, no. He's got such a big fan base.
Yeah.
And it says a lot about a character who doesn't say a lot.
Yeah.
To have such a big impact.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, you know about the way he grew up.
Yeah.
And how, like, he got his scars on his hands.
Yeah.
And, you know, he could only see his mother for an hour a week or something daft like that. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
But you know what I also want? As well as, like, an ACOTAR 6, I would love, like, a little novella on Rhys, Az and Cassian when they first meet.
Yeah.
I know it didn't go out because Cassian was a bit of a bully.
Yeah.
When they first all met.
Yeah.
But I would love like a short novel on their time together.
Yeah.
In the camp, like the Illyrian war camps, and just to see how they trained and how they eventually got along and they became like a little family.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah, that would be cute. I'd love that.
Because that's what it's all based off, isn't it? It's like the family feel of it.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's so good. They are good books.
They are such good books. Such good books to get you into it, honestly.
100%. But yeah, it's like you read them ages ago, but you still go back to things and think, oh yeah, I remember that. That was so good.
Yeah. I think it's hard, like when we do our book boyfriends board.
Yeah. To remember that far back.
To remember and go, and because at the time you're so enamoured by these characters.
Our top whatever 10.
Yeah.
Rhys, Asriel, and Cassian are all in the top 10.
Yeah. Tamtam's not. Tamtam's.
Yeah, well, he's slowly like moving his way off that board.
He's not going to be on the board for long.
No,
I don't think. No. Lucian's on there somewhere.
Yeah, he is. He's in
somewhere. He's in there somewhere. I think it's hard though because when you're reading a book, your mind
above like Hunt after that. And I think he's with Rowan as well. That says a lot about them.
No Rowan hate.
No Rowan hate here.
No Rowan hate here.
Don't hate Rowan, I just don't connect with Rowan.
Yeah. No, yeah. Other question though. How did you feel about leaving Feyre's point of view and going to Nesta?
To start with, I was raging, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I was like, I am not going to get on with this book at all, because Nesta's a bitch.
Do you know, I've got to agree though. I've got to.
She was though.
Yeah.
But, and then as I'm reading the book and getting more into it, I'm like, why did I think Nesta was a bitch? She has every reason to be one though. After everything, well, maybe not to start with, but since the cauldron situation,
100%.
Against her will,
100%.
Not the way she was with Feyre before then. We forget about them as humans because we'll just bypass
their lives
that.
didn't start until they were Fae.
We'll draw a line.
Although, to be fair, if you got dipped in a cauldron and came out Fae, would you really be that angry?
Yeah, but...
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
It's traumatising.
Yeah. She's had her life taken away from her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I was like...
She got sexually assaulted, didn't she?
Yeah.
By that boy.
As a human.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she did. So it's like... And then as you start to think, you're like, oh, actually, yeah, I do feel sorry for her.
The more you get to know the
background of it. And she's like, she's clearly suffering from some PTSD as well.
Yeah.
Having to see the King of Highburn or whatever, and then like, oh yeah, we'll just chuck you in a cauldron.
Yeah, and she was defenceless. Yeah. Like, she had no way of getting out of that.
Exactly.
And she couldn't help her
sister.
sister.
To sit and watch.
Yeah.
And she was very defensive of Elaine as well, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Elaine. So, and I really enjoyed it in the end. Really enjoyed seeing her development and her go from this reclusive bitch who just went out drinking and sleeping with men and reading smutty books.
I was about to say, that doesn't sound familiar.
Sam. Yeah. So, and then like what she did with Gwen.
I thought, I think that where she turned around was when she went into the library.
Yeah.
And she met Gwen. And when she went to the Illyrian camp and met Emery.
Yeah.
I think she just needed some girls.
She needed some women that weren't going to take a shit. And they
But
didn't.
Also women who have been through things. Like, Emery had her wings clipped.
Yeah.
And she was like, grew up with the Illyrians in their old-fashioned, horrible ways.
Yeah.
Which... Can I point out, Cassian was trying to stop and get women more involved and things like that. So we love Cassian.
Yeah. Oh.
I love Cassian.
Love Cassian, 100%.
And then obviously Gwen, who had been.
And who saved Gwen?
Yeah, I know, my little boy. Asriel saved Gwen.
So yeah. She needed them.
She did.
And that was a turning point for her.
What she needed was to see that she could still be strong after the trauma that she'd been through. And those girls showed her that.
And they were bad bitches.
Do you know what, right? I absolutely love the book as well. And, like, I missed Feyre. And I thought, I'm not a massive fan of a pregnancy trope, but I was happy for them that they, had that. Because that's what they wanted, fair.
Yeah.
Obviously everybody had sort of turned Rhys into a villain in that book, and I don't agree with that at all.
No, I didn't like that.
No.
Because it was obviously from Nesta's point of view.
And she doesn't like
Rhys.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't a fan of that.
I'll never ever see Rhys as a villain.
No.
Ever.
No, definitely not.
With everything he did. And even
and it's like, but that decision to put her in the House of Wind wasn't his decision, was it? It was Feyre's decision.
Yeah.
She made that decision to put her in there and was like, listen, sort yourself out.
Yeah. But he gave her the option, you can get out at any time. Yeah. You just got to climb 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
Which, at least it was a way out, unlike Tamlin, who did fully lock Feyre in.
Yeah.
And to be fair as well, Rhys was sort of within his own right because Nesta was spending his money.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she was doing it. She was literally taking advantage of Rhys.
Yeah.
And Rhys was just sort of like, I'm a bit sick of you now.
Yeah.
Which he had all right to be.
Yeah.
And
it was upsetting Feyre.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would. If I saw you doing that, I'd be like, mate, you need to sort yourself out.
But, like, that's why he was like, something needs to be done because you're now upsetting my missus.
My wife.
Yeah.
My wife.
My her lady.
My her lady. But she was also pregnant, and he was like trying to protect her even more then.
Yeah.
And I think I agree he shouldn't have kept the secret about the pregnancy from Feyre. But at the same time, I get that he didn't want to scare her, and he wanted to figure out if there was a way past it before he told her.
Yeah.
But I don't...
The wing sitch.
Yeah, but I also don't agree with what Nesta did. Obviously, that was breaking point for Rhys. When she...
Yes, she was a bitch.
She had a meltdown and told Feyre.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when Cassian took her for her very long hike.
Yes.
Because even Cassian at that point was really annoyed at her.
Yeah,
which you would be.
Yeah, it's like, you don't do that.
No.
Like, there's a reason Rhys hasn't told her. He's trying to protect her until the right time to tell her.
Yeah.
I mean...
I don't agree with how he did
body,
it.
It's her baby as well.
Yeah.
She should know to start with. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't 100% agree with it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Nesta's place to tell her.
No. No, and especially not in the way she told her. Like, if you're going to have that conversation, you sit down and you tell it gently.
During the birth, she redeemed herself, didn't she?
Yeah. Mad. Absolutely mad. But, again, another theory. So Nesta changed her body and Feyre's body to fit wings if they ever needed to give birth to an Illyrian. She never changed Elaine's. So that makes me think she won't end up with Asriel.
Well, no, because she's Lucian's mate, apparently.
Yeah, but everyone's always
Lucian doesn't have wings.
Lucian doesn't have wings.
So it makes sense.
And Lucian deserves love.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Lucian does deserve love.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Elaine.
Who do you think it is? Vesta. The queen. The one who's a bird.
They got on really well.
Yeah. Her, Lucian and Jurian
and his eye.
They're like besties.
Yeah, they are, and I think that's quite nice.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, because it's sort of like by the end of that, Lucian's sort of forgotten about Elaine.
Yeah, he's sort of like, I tried.
Yeah. I tried for 5 minutes. She wasn't interested. I'm moving on.
Yeah, well, to be fair, she wasn't giving him the time of day. I get it. Again, she went through trauma. He did try. He tried on a couple of occasions.
But he even went to the night court
with
Feyre to try and be there for Elaine. And Elaine's just like...
Do you know what breaks my heart? Because obviously he got assaulted by Ianthe.
Mm-hmm.
And Feyre was there and obviously broke Ianthe's hands and all that to do.
Yeah.
When they escaped, Lucian said, please don't tell Elaine. That literally breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's nothing to be embarrassed about.
No, but he's clearly worried what she'll think of him after that's happened.
Yeah.
And that's really sad.
But there's other...
Because if they're your mate as well, you should be able to tell him anything.
Well, Rhys was as well, by Amarantha.
Yeah.
And that's another really sad quote when they're in that inn together and there's only one bed. We love that trope.
Love that one.
And he's, you know, with Feyre again, a bit touchy-feely. Things are going on.
Snuggling.
He's just snuggling, and her body reacts. And he goes, don't worry, it's just your body reacting. Because she's basically already said to him she just wants fun.
Yeah.
And he was like, you shouldn't be worried about your body.
Yeah.
Because he obviously knew.
Yeah.
From being with Amarantha.
Yeah.
It is just...
You can't control your bodily reactions.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, it breaks my heart. You know, some of these things.
It is sad.
It's really sad. Really sad. So what are your theories for ACOTAR 6? Where do you think it's going to go?
Oh, God. Anywhere but Elaine.
But it's a book about Elaine. But do you know it, right? When you thought about Nesta's book, you didn't want to read that either.
No, but I really don't want... And when I knew it was about Nesta, I was like, oh, well, there'll be something in this.
She's got more of a character.
She's got more of a character. Yeah. Elaine's just done fuck all for however long, apart from maybe plant some flowers. No, I just can't see it going anywhere. I'm sorry. That's my own personal opinion. And if people want a book about Elaine, then fine.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
I don't think people want the book about Elaine. I think they want it about Asriel.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Because you've had, obviously, Rhys. And then you've had Cassian.
And don't you love him more when he's in that bit in the Crescent City series?
Yes! I love that. The crossover.
Yeah.
Even Nesta, you love Nesta in that so much.
Yeah.
And
the one person you don't like in it
is Bryce. Do you know what?
It's her book.
I remember reading it and I remember being like so annoyed. Like, the thing is, you've got to put yourself in that character's shoes. Yeah. But I was so annoyed at the way she treated Asriel and Nesta, but only because we know them.
Yeah.
And we trust them and we love them. Obviously, Bryce has just met these people. She has no idea where she is or what she's doing. So she's like, I just want to escape them. But whenever she did anything, I was like, you bitch! Why would you do that to them?
Stop being horrible.
But there's theories. Bryce and Asriel. Yeah. I don't like that.
No, I don't like that.
I'm not a fan.
No.
Asriel, I'm like, Asriel can't have a mate. It's also, for me.
It's also like... There's this theory, but she says she's Hunt's mate,
but they're not.
They're not
mates
in that sense of the term.
No.
So it's like,
because he's not Fae, is he?
No, so they can't be.
I guess they could be.
Well, yeah, I guess it's like the Fae and human sitch.
But the only reason that they called themselves that was because they were like, boyfriend sounds a bit stupid, doesn't it?
It's partner or something, not. Mates.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories with that because Asriel like held her hands and they were very close.
Yeah.
And she made him smile, and she's the only person that's heard him sing, and you know, like things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but no.
I'd be a bit upset.
I'd be upset. I think he deserves.
Because I don't know how. Well, how does that work?
No, wouldn't they live in completely different universes?
Yeah.
But we do need a crossover between Tog, Throne of Glass, and ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Imagine...
But I love that. I love how she's tied them all in, because obviously Rhys helps Aelin.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
But what I realised today, I saw TikTok. And it was of Aelin when she's falling through the different worlds. And she does fall through a Crescent City. It's one of the worlds that she falls through. Obviously, she doesn't see anybody.
Yeah.
And it was she probably wrote it before she wrote Crescent City. Yeah. So it's probably like foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And then she falls through Valaris.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And Rhys just...
Imagine those two in a room together, though. It would be an absolute disaster.
Oh, God.
They'd try to kill each other.
Yeah, they 100% would.
They'd, like, have a power battle.
Yeah. Yeah, and no one would come out well.
No.
Absolutely
This is another theory, though. While we're still on ACOTAR, going back, Lucian is Helion's child, clearly.
Yes, we know that.
We figured this out.
Yeah.
That makes him the heir.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because Helion doesn't have any other kids.
No.
So...
You hungry?
Tummy.
Want a biscuit?
No, a biscuit. So, like, say if Eris becomes Autumn's High Lord, he could become Day. Is it Day? Is it the Day Court? Yeah.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
Sorry if we're wrong.
Yeah, he could become High Lord of the Day Court. That'd be quite cute.
That would be nice.
And then they'd all be friends.
Yeah.
I mean, Helion's great anyway. I wouldn't want Helion to die.
Helion would have to be like, he's my son. Wouldn't he, though?
Does he know?
Does he know?
She knows. Like, 100%. Lucian's mum knows. But does Helion know?
Exactly.
I don't think he does.
No, I don't think he does.
Everyone else seems to know. They need to crack on with that. Because that'd
Maybe
be cute.
that'll be in the next book.
That'd be good. Like a little...
Yeah.
That'd be really cute.
Yeah.
I'd love that. Because to be fair, you don't really see a lot of the other High Lords. The only ones that you see are like Tamlin, Rhys, Helion, Tarquin. I love him. He's just so cute. I
do like that.
He's
and
so
that
cute.
I did feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
When Feyre and Amren, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. I felt betrayed for him.
Especially
because
when she said to him, I think you'd be easy to fall in love with.
Yeah, I know.
That is such a lead on if there was any.
A dick move.
Yeah.
I did feel sorry for him.
But Amren found love. It's so cute.
That is so
honestly,
nice.
all the little backstories. But there's a theory as well that Maw and Emery will end up together.
That would be nice.
That'd be cute. And then Asriel can finally like get over him.
And then maybe we can like more again then.
But then Asriel can get with Gwen.
That would be cute.
I love that. I love that theory.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be the only one that I'd be happy with.
Yeah.
Unless someone new comes along. But there's also the theory that Asriel was mates with Rhysand's sister.
I've seen that one, and that's devastating.
That is hard. But it would make sense why he is the way he is.
Yeah. But it's devastating for him. Mm-hmm. Not that he can't ever love again, obviously. I'm sure he could, for the right person, he could find love. Mm-hmm. But the fact that his mate was taken away from him.
Or killed.
So devastatingly.
Mm. But that would be so cute as well. Imagine, because that could be like, I'm throwing ideas for Sarah out there. So Sarah, if you're watching, that could be like the thing. So say like we have this book about Elaine. And and whatever happens. It's going to be a long book apparently. That's the only clue we have.
Well, it can't be about Elaine then. She's boring as a tree.
She's boring as a tree.
It's a long book.
But we could have that book. But then if she brings out like a novella or a like short novel about when they grew up, you could do that.
Yes.
With Asriel and whatever his sister was called. I don't even think we have a name. I want to say Valerie, but I don't think that's her name. I think I've just had that in my head.
Because they were the Valkyrie, weren't they?
Oh, cute. Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, I know.
So Sarah, this is what the fans want. By the fans, I mean
this
me.
This is what the fans want. This is what Jess personally wants Sarah to write for her.
So if you could write me it personally, that'd be fantastic.
Like, if this isn't what you're planning for your next book, just write it anyway, because...
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's what I want, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, genuinely, that would be so... I'd love that. I'd lap that up.
I would lap a lot up. That's...
Do you want to expand on that?
I don't mind a book about Asriel. Don't mind.
We just want more.
We just want more of
Not
that
more,
world.
but we want more.
More.
The E on the end.
Yeah.
Like, I want more to be happy, but I think she needs to be honest with everybody.
I wouldn't mind a book about that.
About her and Eris.
To find out what's the score is with that.
We need to figure that out. I think Eris will come into this book more and he'll tell them what actually happened.
I hope so. I hope. I just want the air to be cleared.
Yeah.
I want everybody to be friends.
We want to love Eris.
They've got a massive war coming up as well, haven't they? We forget about this.
Yeah, because you think it's all over once you defeated Hybern.
Witches went to whatever his face is, didn't
the
they?
one that's keeping Vessa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is. Horrible.
Yeah.
Weird man.
We've got that situation going on as well.
But surely Feyre can't get involved when she's trying to raise Nyx.
I'll just have to go into like daycare or something.
Valara's daycare at the Rainbow.
That's it. They've maybe got a nanny.
They'll have a nanny. They're rich enough to have a nanny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you've got all that going on. Oh my god.
I bet they have another baby.
Do you think?
Yeah.
You know, there's also another theory.
I bet they'll pop about 10 out.
Yeah, but it's rare for them to have babies. Yeah, but
I just think the gods have given... I think
do you
the
know
gods have blessed them with these gifts.
Do you know who'll have loads of babies? Nesta. I bet she has loads of babies.
I could see her
having loads.
Becoming a softie with babies as well. Could see having her and Cassian.
She's going to be a girl mom. Mum. Because Cassian needs to be a girl dad. That would just be the cutest thing.
He would be such a good girl dad. Yeah.
I just want to be best friends with Cassian. I can imagine him being the bestest friend. Like, imagine going down to the pub with Cassian. It'd be such a good laugh.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like Cassian for that. Yeah. He's just such a good person.
He's a good ball of energy.
Yeah.
That everyone just needs. And like he's always there for you.
He's got that golden retriever energy.
He does. Yes. Honestly, he's so cute. I love Cassian.
Yeah, I do.
So much.
He's so good.
Do you know what? Right, obviously, he gave us the best lines.
I like Cassian and Nesta though. I think they're a good balance for each other. I think they balance each other out well.
Yeah, like Moody and Sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah. I think, like, honestly, if anybody was going to bring her out of her shell,
it was him.
Yeah. Absolutely. Although I do think we were robbed of a scene.
The biscuit.
The biscuit?
What biscuit? She gave him a biscuit because mates give them food and she gave him a stale biscuit or something, didn't she?
I don't know. No, I thought they had a lavish affair, didn't they? They were going to have like a really big thing and they were planning it at the end of the book.
Yeah, but when she accepted the mating bond...
Oh, did she just give him...
I'm sure it was.
I'm sure.
Something like that. Or maybe I've
dreamt... I bet it was just like, I'm not having a stale biscuit.
Have I just dreamt this?
I don't know. I can't remember that. No, we were robbed of a scene. Because... Sarah's probably going to be like, Jess, you're nasty.
A wedding?
No. So, in a court of silver flames, Nesta mentions having both Azriel and Cassian at the same time.
I can't imagine that. My brain won't let me.
It'd be too much.
Too much.
I'd die.
Yeah.
100% die.
100%.
But everyone says we were robbed of a scene.
Well,
should have happened.
Maybe we were.
Yeah. Because they teased her about it.
Yeah.
If I had to rate it, the whole series. So far, because it's not complete. No. Out of, what should we rate out of? 10? 5? 10?
10. Why not?
It's easier when it's 10, I think.
Yeah.
5's harder to rate out of. Yeah. It's too small.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
We're going to rate out of 10. I'd say... you know what? I'm going to go quite high. I'd say an 8.
Yeah, we're going to be like... Yeah.
It's not...
7.5, 8.
Yeah, it's not top tier. There has been books I've read since and I've gone... They're, like, brilliant. Fourth Wing, I would rate higher.
Yeah.
Than ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Throne of Glass definitely higher 100%. Than ACOTAR.
100%.
But ACOTAR as a first romantasy series.
Such a good way to dip your toe in.
Yeah. Really good way. And it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's such a good series to read. I mean, yes, you have a bit of emotional trauma, but no one actually really dies.
No. Well, apart from their dad.
And the surreal.
Oh, the surreal.
But apart from them and Baraxis, no, Baraxis is still out there, but it's the Weaver
it's disappeared as
and the Bone Carver.
Yeah.
They die.
Yeah.
But they're not really massive characters.
No, when you're a bit like meh.
The surreal was
Collateral
really
damage.
sad.
The surreal was really sad.
And yeah, the dad was... It was sad.
That was sad.
It was sad. You didn't really know him that well, but it was sad for them.
Yeah. But that brought them together at the Silver Flame end of that book, because they all went to visit where they buried him.
Yeah. So that was cute.
That was nice.
Obviously Rhys dies, but not for long.
Yeah, he don't count. He comes back to life.
And Feyre dies, but not for long.
Yeah, she comes back to life.
So I sort of feel we're safe with ACOTAR. ACOTAR's not soul destroying.
Yeah, but like now she's been away for so long. Do you think she's gonna come back and just ruin us? Destroy our souls.
Do you know who, like, I just don't think Sarah J. Maas has got it in her.
I hope she doesn't.
I don't think she does.
I like reading her books for that reason.
It's always a happy ending.
Yeah.
Or, like, at least a sort of happy ending. Might end on a cliffhanger, but it's never, like, nasty.
Never like...
Except Assassin's Blade, where she can go to with
right.
that.
So that was the one time where she was devastating.
And Kingdom of Ash, to be fair.
Oh, God.
Apart from them, we're not talking about them.
No, we're not. But what you just said previously is just a load of rubbish then, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is a little bit.
She does actually write some devastating stuff.
Yeah. Well, she's not as bad. I don't think she's as bad as Rebecca Yarros. Or Caroline Peckham and Susanna Valenti. Yippee. You haven't got that yet, but my God.
Oh, no.
Be prepared. Heartbreaking.
I might just stop on the third book.
The third book's a great place to stop. That's where the fun ends. If you don't know, we're talking about Zodiac Academy. If you know, you know.
I've read up to the end of The Reckoning.
Yeah, which is the third book.
Yeah.
But you're going to go on to Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac.
Yeah.
So you're doing that before you go back.
Yeah. I'm scared.
If you haven't read Zodiac Academy, I would recommend, but be prepared. It's a roller coaster.
It's just, yeah.
So many emotions.
It sucks you in, though.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's for another time.
That is for another time.
When you've actually finished it.
There might be in a few years' time.
There's so many books. We'll keep you posted when the progress is. It took me a long time to finish them. Because like we said in our the first episode, we're not fast readers.
No.
I have been this month, but only because I've been poorly.
I've read 2 books.
I've read 6. And they've been quite big books as well. It's like been 400, 500 pages.
You have been
each.
bedbound.
I have done a lot of reading this month.
Which,
normally I
what
don't.
do you do when you're bedbound? You read, don't
100%.
you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Yeah.
So my March reads on TikTok won't be interesting, but Jess's might be.
Do you know what's really funny as well? Because we both have good reads. And you obviously set your goal for the year, don't you?
Yeah, Jess is like, whoo.
Well, I set my goal as 16 books. I've read 6 books this month. I think I'm on 14 books already this year.
I set mine at 10. Well, I didn't know how much reading I'd do.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
That's rookie
No, I'm
numbers.
not joking.
I mean, to be fair, I only put 6 more.
Exactly.
It's not a lot.
And I think I've done 9 on Goodreads, but I've actually done 11 because I reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame.
Yeah. And it doesn't put it on your Goodreads.
No.
That's so annoying. That is really annoying.
Yeah, so...
I did that. So last year I didn't start Goodreads until about March. So then you obviously put in your thing what you read.
Yeah, but it doesn't,
So it doesn't count it.
Yeah.
I got really annoyed at that.
You have to put reading
Yeah.
and then read, don't you, for it to count it as towards you.
Yeah.
I'm useless at keeping it up to date, though, if I'm honest.
Do you know what I'm used to? So me and Sarah both have a book log
Yeah.
diary. I'm useless at keeping that
I've done
updated.
it. I'm well up to date.
Do you know what? I haven't done mine this month at all.
Oh, Jess.
Which is
That's why I've managed
rookie.
to read so many books.
Which is rookie because because I do want to keep it updated.
Yeah.
I have to do them all at the same time, but then I have to remember what was
Yeah.
in each book, and I can't write as many notes for it then because I can't remember which one was which.
Mine's up to date.
That's so good.
I'm well proud of myself, to be honest, because it's not something I ever thought I'd do.
No.
But thank you, Mum, for getting that.
Yeah,
for
really
us.
good. And we can compare them. You can keep them every year.
Yeah.
Which books you've read.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I do. I'm a fan.
Yeah, we'll keep that going. I just take everything off Goodreads, to be honest. Although I don't really write reviews on Goodreads anymore.
No, I don't. I'm a bit like, oh yeah, I really like that.
I used to. I used to write reviews, and now I'm just like, I can't be bothered.
No.
Like, I finished Legendary today, and I don't think I even wrote a review for it.
It's the sitting and like typing it all out.
Yeah.
I'd rather like this, like just chat about it.
Yeah, 100%. And then you can like go back and forth on theories and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
Aww.
Love that. Well, should we wrap this up? Shall we wrap this mother up? That's from Hairspray.
Oh, okay.
Honestly.
I can tell she's had some cover tonight. Yeah.
But yeah, so we had a good chat about ACOTAR.
We did have a good chat about ACOTAR.
But if anybody has any questions or theories, then do comment and we will talk about them. And if we agree, there's no hate here. Everybody has their own theories.
Yeah, honestly, our opinions are our opinions. Yeah. We don't disrespect anybody else's opinions.
No, except if it's each other's, and then we can do that. But
that's different.
But honestly, there's like no hate here. Safe zone. Like, we're all just spurting what we think.
Absolute nonsense, probably most of the time.
100%.
Yeah.
Next episode we'll do the Fourth Wing, the Empyrean series. Especially because we have loads of theories about that, because that was definitely a recent read.
Yeah.
You got to bear in mind, ACOTAR I read 2 years ago, you read a year ago. So
yeah,
all that came out today was like what we can remember of it. So if you have any more theories or what you think, or if we got things wrong, do let us know.
Yeah, please let us know, because we probably have got some bits. I'll be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, there was a few bits where I was like, have I just made that?
Yeah, like the biscuit thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
In my head, it was a biscuit.
But yeah, do let us know. It's all about having a conversation.
Yeah.
And hope to see you next time, guys.
Bye.